Hi, I'm Tappy. This video is going to be an introduction of sorts to Faeria. It's a collectible card game, free to play, went gold a few weeks ago. It's been in beta for nearly a year. And yeah, I picked it up last week. As I said, it's on Steam, free to play. It's fun. There's a lot of differences to Hearthstone. There are some similarities, but no more so than any other card game. I'm going to be talking from the viewpoint of someone who has only played Hearthstone as a card game, because that's pretty much all I've done. I collected Pokemon cards, I never really played the game too much. But anyway, so first off, similarities. Mana cost, attack and health, similar sort of setup. You have minions, they call them creatures. You have spells. There are similar rarities, so there's common, rare, epic and legendary. You have gold, same to Hearthstone gold. Purple stuff, which is real money. You have to pay real money to get that. So gold, real money. You have dust, but they call it shards. So it costs 5 shards to craft a common. You know, usual stuff. Stuff that's very different. And I probably should have said this already before starting this little spiel. The game is played on a hex board, which I will show you in a little while. And also you have different colours. So every turn, instead of having a hero power, and there are no actual different heroes, you have a different skin for a hero, but no actual, you're not talking mage versus warrior or any of that nonsense. You have colours. So every turn, you can place some territory down, or draw a card, or gain a mana crystal, but basically ignore that until very late game. You place some territory, of which could be any of these 4 colours. You place one of a colour or 2 neutral, and neutral cards you can play on neutral or any of your special tiles. But say Architect is a 2 mana 2/2, but it also requires you to own 2 red tiles, and you can only place it on a red tile. Tell you what, let's just get into a game and I will explain. But just before that, as a new player, you're going to want to go into solo mode and play all the missions. Like, you're playing against the AI and puzzles. Basically, you use that as a tutorial and a way to kickstart your collection. I think I acquired something like 15 packs just doing all the free stuff. And you get objectives, which you'll get rewards as well. Obviously, there's dailies as well. There's daily quests, and you just get something for logging in every day. You're going to want to do that. Also, I think you're going to want to find a recruiter, because that way you get a card pack and so do they for every time I get recruited. Let's just go into battle mode. I'm going to play with a basic deck I've made. It's not a very good deck. It's a red deck, and it just explains, well, I'm just going to use it to explain as much as I can. There's a lot more strategy to this than to Hearthstone, from my understanding, because you've got territory to look after, and you've got you can have special abilities like Blood Obelisk is a structure, which I will explain. I'll keep it just to explain it. But yeah, here we go. So first off, Flame Burst. It's removal. It's basically like Fireball, but you need 2 red to be able to play it, and it costs 3 mana. Right, basics. Every turn you gain 3 mana, just naturally. Your mana is at the bottom left, and you can also see on the wheel how much of each territory you have. Explore is the coin. Create a prairie and gain 2 mana. So you gain 2 mana and you get a free neutral thing. Last words deal 2 damage to all creatures. So this looks like it's going to be a control deck of sorts. Fire Elemental. I could, if I create a neutral, do I want a neutral? No. I don't really want Fire Elemental because it's going to get killed for free. So I'm just going to play it slow, I think. Play this. I will play Shed and Brute Now that I have 2 red tiles, I can actually play him because he needs 2, and I'll end my turn. These 4 wells. You see he just collected 1 mana from the well because he was next to it on his turn. If you have a creature next to it on your turn, or you move a creature next to it on your turn, it will acquire an extra mana for you. So he's gaining 4 mana a turn, 3 naturally and 1 due to sort of feeding from that well. It looks like he's going to be feeding from that well as well. So what do? Neutral, I think. Here and here. Acquire that mana. And end my turn. Blood Obelisk. Play Blood Obelisk. Okay, Blood Obelisk is a structure. It needs 2 red, but you can place a structure anywhere. And it can't move, it can't acquire Faeria. They're called mana Faeria, hence the name. But it does a special thing. So whenever an enemy dies when this is on board, I gain a mana and deal 1 damage to the opponent's face. My deck is basically deal chip damage to his face until he's dead. So for example, Shedding Brute, combat, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Combat means when this enemy is attacked or attacks something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place 1 here and here. Attack this guy, that'll kill that off. And that'll kill my Blood Obelisk off as well. Nearly kill that. And Fire Elemental. Gift create a mountain. Put him there. Create a mountain there. That looks good to me. So next turn the Fire Elemental can gain this mana. Shedding Brute can gain that mana. And hopefully we should be fine. He's played blue, so he's played a lot of neutral creatures, but he has played some blue tiles, so I'm not really sure what his deck is. Right, now I can explain Taunt, which is fine. So Taunt, this creature has Taunt. When you're next to a creature with Taunt, all you can do is either nothing or attack it. You can't move, so I can't move back. Have to attack it. I need to protect this structure because he can kill it for free if I don't. So what I should have done is put the Bloodsinger down here first, but I need to make a red tile there to do so. Let's get that mana. And instead of doing that, let's put a Taunt minion down. So we do this so that he can't create some land and kill my Blood Obelisk. He has to attack the Taunt or do nothing. So a lot of my minions have deal 2 damage to your opponent in some way. So combat, obviously you can get a lot of chip damage. We've already dealt 4 damage, and that's with a 2 health heal from an Imperial Guard. Shedding Brute does the same. There's also something called Cypher's Fodder in this deck, which when it dies deals 2 damage to your opponent's face. It's a basic deck, but I haven't really got the cards to experiment too much. It's the best I could do so far, and I've actually gone for red because ooh, he's got a legendary. Ooh. Change another friendly creature's base attack and life to 6/6. He dealt with that quite nicely for him, not very nicely for me. So he's probably going to get a free kill on my Blood Obelisk next turn unless I sacrifice a Shedding Brute or Bloodsinger, which I don't know if I really want to do. We'll see. You do have to be quite concerned with where you're placing your land and where the enemy is placing his land, because he could, for example, get quite close to me now, so I probably should defend if possible. When placing land, you can place it adjacent to existing land that you own, or, for example, he could place land next to his Imperial Guard here and here. Double Flame Burst I could kill him off, which would protect my blood obelisk, but it would, all my mana would disappear. I'm going to move that there. Next turn I could threaten something, perhaps. Let's place some stuff. Or basically he can get here no matter what, so I should place one here. And here? Yeah, let's go here. Bloodsinger. There to start collecting mana. Flame Burst. Do one Flame Burst at least. Do we do the other one? I think we do the other one. To protect the Bloodsinger. Was that a good call? I don't know, honestly. That was pretty much all of my removal. Which could also be ending his life later on, but we'll see. Bloodsinger, whenever an enemy creature dies, do 1 damage to your opponent. So he got a good trade, but I dealt with it. But I am out of mana, and he does have quite a lot of mana. So currently I'm ahead on board, but not really, because he could just spend the mana quite easily. This could take a little while to actually finish. So he's solidifying his position. Some decks just go straight aggro towards your face, like they'll just go head straight for you. I haven't really mentioned the 4 colour types, so there's green, blue, red and yellow. Yellow sort of promotes a more aggro style. Need the mana. Could play a Shedding Brute. And in fact, seems like a good idea. Create a red and a Shedding Brute in the middle. So now he doesn't really know what's going on. Could have moved him, but I didn't. Why didn't I? Probably should have, because then I could have still acquired Windfall. Well, he does have golden cards, so he's obviously a player from better, who knows what he's doing, and he's getting lots of mana. There's a card called Aurora's Dream. I think that's Aurora, but Aurora's Dream is he basically draws cards until he has 9 cards in his hand. They all cost 0, so that's a very late game scenario where you can drop tons of stuff. It doesn't look like he's done that because he's played Magnus. Every time I attack him, he draws a card that costs 0. Does a similar thing. I do have jump, which means I can attack his face. I can at least get the hell out of the way of Magnus. I will do that. Out of the way, attack his face, protect the blood obelisk. Oh, you can create land from a frog, so that's cool. So he's basically giving me a way to create land near him, which he probably shouldn't have done. So now I can play a neutral minion. I guess protect the obelisk. I don't know. Next turn, the frog can get the mana. We don't really need the frog dealing 2 damage to his face. I would have liked the fire elemental to deal damage. That's fine. Battle Rage is good because whenever the creatures dealt damage, deal that much damage back to your opponent. Because he let the Bloodsinger live, I can kill Aurora with the Rebel Singer, or Falcon Dive, cheap removal. When this creature dies, gain 10 mana. He's going to be dropping a lot of stuff for free thanks to Magnus, which is a little bit scary. He hasn't made any taunts, so what I can do, I have 6 mana. I don't really need territory. I'm going to draw a card. Grimguard. Move that. Rebel Singer. Attack that. He's down to 5. Gonna move that. Well, he's probably gonna kill that, to be quite honest, but I'll get the extra mana. Could play Grimguard, but I'll save it because I want to play Battle Rager next turn, which hopefully, unless he has Frogify, which will transform it and we don't get to use the text effectively. Looks like I'm going to win, but he could pull it out of the bag. I know green has Tiki Healer, but he hasn't played any greens. It's obviously a full-on blue deck. I don't think he has any heals, but there are some neutral heals, but I doubt he'd use them. Yeah, I think it's going pretty well. So obviously, there's many different playstyles, and once you know the game a little bit better, you can sort of tell from the land they play what sort of deck they have. So there's a lot of strategy involved. So 5 life is fine, unless he somehow gets a creature onto that tile. I can play Battle Rager, in which case he's probably screwed, but we'll see. If he can Frogify the Battle Rager, maybe he can pull it back. What the hell is that? Right, alright. So he gained 5 life because he had 5 cards in hand. Don't get me wrong, it's scary. Grimguard and Village Elder, is that what we do? He's going to deal 10 damage to my face in very short order. So next turn I would have to, you know what, Battle Rager. Build some land up. Because it flies, he can't create land there. Oh, I should have put it here though, because he can create land there and block me off. So I'm going to go down to 6. He did have Frogify, so he has probably won, in all likelihood. Without Frogify, he'd be down to 6, which really, if he didn't have Radiance, would be down to 1. So yeah, normally that'd be a win, but, well, I just didn't know of this card's existence. That's cool. Any windfalls. So this is a good deck for the deck he's playing. He obviously has some experience with the game. All I can do to potentially stay alive is to pop a mana, drop the Grimguard. In fact, he's still well dead because he's just gonna kill this off and then hit me for 10 with Radiance. Oh, good game. You do have emotes. I'll let him have his fun. Turn it to 5-5. Fine. That's cool. I think I've explained most of the concepts. I think I should go back to the deck, or the deck list, go into crafting so we can see all the cards. There's a lot of neutrals. They're typically not as good as the colours, obviously, because the colours have a prerequisite. So green, typically they're going to have big minions, and they're going to buff minions, so they're sort of countered by blue, which have stuff like Frogify to just, you know, negate the massive buffs. Red has a lot of area of effect damage, and they're a bit more aggro focused. A lot of the minions will have more attack than health, or they'll have a special ability which deals damage in some way, somehow. So, yeah. But you can also play it more controlly with stuff like Firestorm, which is like Flame Strike, I guess. Garadan. The reason I play red is because I got Garadan, luckily, from a pack, and it's a good card. When I get a few more reasonable cards, I'll probably try and make a control deck with Garadan. Yellow. It's more focused on Rush. So, I guess there's aggro, then there's Rush, which is like aggro, I guess. A lot of flying minions, and a lot of haste, or some haste. Haste is the charge equivalent. Charge just means they can actually move more per turn. Normally you can move one per turn. Have I explained all this stuff? I don't know. Let's have a quick look while I'm talking. Let's go into Pandora, which is the arena mode. You create a deck, 30 cards as normal, but you also have 3 special cards, so this is, I guess, a 33 card deck. Every 10 cards you get a Pandora card, and they are very powerful cards which you can't collect. You have seen some of them in the single player. In the solo you're introduced to all these, but basically they're just really powerful. And also you can see blue has been locked off. Every time you create a deck, one of the colours is locked off to you, so it encourages you to mix it up, try different playstyles. For example, I've played almost exclusively red, but I did play, was it yellow, one time, which did not go well. Yellow is quite a high skill colour, I think. You start off with green when you're playing from free to play new player. You start off with green, then you get introduced to red. Hopefully it normally takes 20 to 50 seconds to get matched up, but it could take a little bit longer today because the servers have just been updated or whatever. And hopefully, what I don't want is to get disconnected, because I am on some pretty weak source Wi-Fi. Storyteller is Cold Light Oracle. I'm going to keep it just because we're in Pandora mode, and as it says, once 5 shards are found, Pandora awakens, and that's when you get access to one of your special cards. Do I go full nutso? No, I think I just go for slow play. I could go for straight off Storyteller, but I think I'll save that for a rainy day. So in 5 or 6 turns we're gonna unlock Pandora and get special treasure, which can drastically change the game. Mace Man. And because I have Mace Man, he's coming straight for me. Do I play Mace Man? Play Mace Man here. He can potentially acquire some mana next turn, or alternatively deal with whatever the hell this guy is going to throw at me. Bold Bargainer's not a great card. There's another sort of archetype that I gather for red, which is expensive minions and expensive stuff, but with a heavy mana reduction. So this is basically a 3/4 in the right deck, but you need to have a lot of mana to make it work. So he hasn't played a minion, so it looks like it's just going heavily for territory. So that looks like the play. Volcanic Colossus is cool. It's ranged, which I haven't actually shown you yet, which I might not actually get to show you. But basically, if I place a ranged minion here, he can attack any distance in a straight line. But if an enemy is next to him, then he'll get damage dealt as normal. I do have one green card in my deck, and it is this one. So that is a bad draw. Last words: a random friendly creature gains +3/+5. I could block him. If I move here, I block him making a creature there. And I can also block him from gaining mana from this well. And also get him in range of Pandora. Get him in range of the Mace Man. I think that was a good play. Probably not. It was a play. It's a third shard, so that's accelerated the Pandora event quite a bit. And it plays the same, but basically when Pandora occurs, all the wells disappear, but they all lose their mana, and every turn you gain 6 mana instead of a usual 3. So it accelerates the game. So because it's made another creature, killing this guy is going to buff the hell out of this guy and make him a 6, what was it? 6/13, which is quite a lot. So, but if I do that, if I kill this guy off, kill this guy off, make him a massive guy, and put a Battle Rager there. He pretty much has to deal with the Battle Rager. A random card in your hand costs 7 less. Now, we'd quite like it to hit Volcanic or Bold Bargain. Let's try it. It hit the Court Jester, which was a terrible play. And there we go. 4th shard found. Do we have the 5th yet? Not quite. Maybe on my turn. Dealt 6 to his face. That was nice. Got that massive minion away from my half of the board as well, which is kind of what I wanted. Every turn is going to gain 1 life from Shimmer and Statue, which doesn't sound like a good idea for me. Court Jester? Do I Court Jester this guy? Would that be a good idea? Well, if I'm gonna Bomb Slinger him, and maybe I should, and maybe the Bomb Slinger gets the buff, Bob Barden gets the buff. That's not a bad card now. Right. Let's go for. Well, he has. Oh dear. Did not notice he got territory right near me, so there's going to be a massive minion coming there pretty damn soon. So let's go neutral, just try and, I don't know, it's pretty bad play on my part, but I had other things on my mind. Come on Pandora, not on his turn, on my turn please. Pandora could allow us to do some decent plays if we get the right treasure. So once Pandora's opened, we get 1 treasure right away. We both get, every time we get a treasure, we both get a treasure. It's not as if they're just randomly shuffled in the deck. My turn, come on Pandora. Final shard, Pandora Awakens. So the treasure we get is all the wells disappear. Hammer of Destruction, deal 5 damage, shuffle the hammer into your deck. Bold Bargainer, a random card in your hand costs 7 less. We don't really, we're not going to play it. We could play it. Play another. Just play another red there, I guess, which allows me to kill that off for free of sorts and end the turn. So Hammer Destruction, I think that's one of the better ones. I've actually had some very good use of it because it shuffles it back into your deck. which if you're going into the late game is pretty damn important. Primeval Colossus, there you go. There's the nonsense, Ring of Dominion. So he's turned that into his land. That's pretty big. Kingsguard here could be important. I only have one hex right near my base. Wow. Kingsguard draws a card. Queensguard gain 1 mana. Bold Bargainer would be bold. No doubt about that. Doesn't look like I'm going to get to play the ranged Colossus. Or I could play it there. Kingsguard taunt for sure. Oh, that is taunt, so I have to kill that. That's fine. And he's going to kill me for free. That's a nice play on his part. Probably should have drawn a card first. But, well, pretty neat of a game. Another treasure. World's Tear. Transform a creature that attacked a god this turn into 10/10 with flying. In that case, I want to keep this guy alive. So I'm going to taunt this guy up. And end the turn. World's Tear. That would be sweet if that works. But the Primeval Colossus is a bit of a dick. Taunt, create a forest. Damn you! Yeah. I do have another taunt, which would delay him a bit, but I want to use Hammer of Destruction because I want to keep this guy alive. I think the play is definitely Hammer of Destruction. Attack his face. Probably should have moved to the... Definitely should have moved to there first. World's Tear on that guy to 10/10. Draw a card, I guess. End turn. Two mana 10/10. Not bad. If he can deal with it, I'm probably dead because I can't effectively deal. Yeah, I should definitely have moved. But then again, he would have just made a forest there and done it anyway. Yeah, so I can stall a little bit. Queensguard. If he has a way to buff this up to 6/6, which he possibly could, he's running the buffing colour. But I'm probably screwed. Freedom Fighter. Next turn that could be useful. So I have to taunt up. Draw a card last, because of course. Never draw a card last. Deal 4 damage to a creature or structure. Well, I wouldn't have had enough mana. Would I have enough mana? No, not with playing the taunt as well. Oh dear. So the treasure. He could... There's a lot of really, really good treasures here. He has not managed to do that, but next time I'm dead. Hammer of Destruction. Oh dear. Yeah, so he's dealt with me, and I'm probably dead. I would have been able to defeat him next turn had I... Am I dead? I am so dead. No taunts. I have to play a card before I can draw, which is not ideal. Well, this will give me 6 life, which is not enough, but I'll do it. draw a card, deal 2 damage to his face, and say GG. I think I did probably explain Pandora mode to you reasonably well. I'm just trying to think if I've missed anything out. Obviously 9 wins is the limit. You sort of go infinite at 6, but 7 is when you actually definitely go infinite, because it costs 2,000 gold to enter. Alternatively, which I can't actually show you because I'm in the middle of a Pandora run, every day there is a practice mode for Pandora in which you create a deck as normal, and if you get to 3 wins, then you get 1/3 of a Pandora coin. So every 3 days, as long as you log in and play the practice runs, you can actually play a proper run. So it is quite easy to acquire things, it just takes a little bit of time. I think the best way, someone told me, if you are going to spend money, Goki is the best way to do so, because you get a hell of a lot of gold. It costs 1,000. What is 4 quid? It's not the worst thing in the world if you do spend money. Would I spend 4 quid? I think, is Goki really only, how much is Goki? Hey, bugger off, where's Goki? Dun dun dun. It's only 1,000. I might do that one day. Not now. For now I'm free to play. Do I have any chests to open? No. I should show you a chest, but I haven't got any. But basically it's the same as Hearthstone, but the highest rarity card you have, you get to re-roll. So if you already have enough of it, or you don't want it, or you don't, whatever, you can just re-roll it, and it will be at least at the same rarity, but it may be better. So that's definitely better than the way Hearthstone works, which is a grind fest. But yeah, I hope this was a reasonable introduction. Obviously, if you've played the game a lot, then this is not a very good video for you. I do apologise. If I've missed anything out or whatever, let me know in the comments. I doubt I'm going to do many videos on this, maybe none on this channel. I just done one on this channel, HS Combos, because, I don't know, it's very similar. It's a collectible card game. See the feedback. If there's a big negative outlash, obviously I'll just stop doing that, and instead I'll do videos on my secondary channel. I think there's probably going to be a Pandora run on my other channel. I'll do it on my other channel because there's a lot of, it takes a lot of time, and that may annoy some people. Because obviously up until this point HS Combos has just been for Hearthstone. Probably still will be, to be honest. But I'm just playing this in my spare time, and I'm not playing so much Hearthstone anymore, so there we are. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it informative. If you have any feedback, please let me know, and yeah, see you next time.